Hi everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, and I'm getting ready to start working on another Project Life layout or two-page spread here. Actually, it's going to be more than that. It's actually going to be a two-page spread with, I think, 2 or 3 inserts. So before I started to do this, I kind of wanted to show you my process. I've been getting a lot of questions about, you know, what do you need to get started? Now, first thing I want to tell you is you don't have to do this so you're starting at the beginning of the year. You can start now. If you had events that you did happen to, you know, document, take pictures of, you can always go back and, you know, put those in your album as well. It doesn't have to be that you're starting at the beginning of the year. I happened to start in February, and so I had taken a few pictures in January, and I documented those really quick in like a 2-page spread like this one. But you don't have to do that. The Project Life pages are by Becky Higgins, but you can also get the We Are Memory Keepers. Has a lot of different styles too. I prefer the Becky Higgins one. They have so many different styles. This one right here is design A. They have a couple of other designs, that 6x12 page. They have, let me see, I have another one here. This one is the design A that I cut in half. I showed you that in my last video. And let's see, there's another page. There's a whole bunch of different styles. This one is design G, and it's not a 12 by 12 spread, but it's a 12 by, I want to say 10. And I love just how the different options that you have for laying this out. So you can kind of mix and match your different pages. And I always do inserts, well, not always, but for example, I have an insert, and I'll be showing this one in detail in another video, but I have an 8.5 by 11 page insert that I got. This is just a Staples one, and they have page dividers and stuff like that. But whenever I have something special going on, I either do a layout, a special insert, or something like that. So I'm getting ready to start week 21, which was this past week. I had a really busy week, in good busy, not bad busy, but it's just a lot of stuff going on. Ethan had track and field day at his school on Thursday, then Friday I had a fundraiser at work, and then Saturday we went up to lake. So it was just like a lot going on, and there was, when I took all of my pictures and I used my camera or my phone the entire time, I had 123 pictures that I was transferring over. So I did weed it down a little bit to 84, but now I have to figure out, you know, how to put that in. I'll probably be using some of the Carrie Bradford kits, and if you're not familiar with her, you can find her at carriebradford.com. She has storyboards that you can take all your pictures and kind of group them together, and you know, like this is a storyboard right here. So it was a 4x6 one, and I took a whole bunch of the pictures from us working in our garden and made it into one picture here. So there's lots of things you could do. I prefer the Becky Higgins page protectors, but like I said, We Are Memory Keepers, and they're also in July they're coming out with some more styles of the Becky Higgins. So what I start off with is I take all of my pictures. Well, actually I start off with these. These are they're done by Marcy Penner, and they're all different, and there's one for all of the different design pages, and I have printed out all of the designs that I have, and I kind of can map out what I'm going to do. Now, Terry did in her, I think it was her last video, the video before last about Project Life, is she added her days of the week down here, and what I did was I kind of wrote everything out and down here, and then I mapped out what I was going to do here. So this is my 2-page spread. So this is this right here. And I printed out all my pictures. Now it doesn't look like I have a lot of pictures for this week, but I'm going to be doing 2 inserts. So this automatically becomes my title page for my week. It says week 21, and I usually put the date range. And then I have my pictures, and then I also wrote on here where I'm going to journal. So I'm going to journal right here is going to be this journaling. I'm going to put a miscellaneous, is usually like a silhouette cut or something like that, and this is journaling that'll go with this picture. And then on the other side, I have some, I have stuff on my desk I don't want to knock off. I have a picture of Ethan, and I'm going to do the journaling for that here. So if you look on my page, I have the journaling here. That's my picture of Ethan. I'm going to do a miscellaneous thing right here. we started documenting and taking pictures weekly of our garden. So Scott has been writing up what is going on in our garden. So he actually calls it the Garden Dispatch by Scott. So, and down here will be a picture of our garden. And I have a picture of Ethan right here on down the bottom here as we were heading up to the lake. And then I'll journal about that here. So I kind of mapped all of that out and then used my dates down here to kind of know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to be doing some inserts in this week because I have, like I said, a lot going on. The first one was track and field day, so I'm going to be taking this Design A, which is a 12 by 12 spread, and cutting it down. And what I do is I cut it down, there's a seam right here, and I cut it just along the seam so I'm not opening up the edges of this side of it. So, and this is where I'm going to be using this is a Design A, it's a single sheet, and Marcy also has on her website the double page, which is what I was just using to show you what was going on with my 2-page spread. But this will be an insert. It's a Design A cut in half, and then what I did was I took the single one and documented what I'm going to do on both of the pages, fold in half. So this will be the front of my insert, and then this will be the back of my insert. So that's for track and field day. And then I also have, we went to the lake, so I took a lot of lake pictures, and this is Design G, and I put on here week 21 insert, the date 5/26, and this will all be lake pictures. I haven't gotten around to doing that, except for I did see a silhouette cut that I like that I'm going to do. It's called Enjoy the Ride, because I did take a bike ride, and Scott was really on the ball with my phone and took pictures of me as I was coming down the hill, and I just kept getting closer and closer. So I'm going to do like a film strip right here in these two slots. So I'm going to do a film strip of, you know, the bike ride, and then I have all my other pictures. And then the last thing is a 6x12 insert, which is another page, and this one's just called 6x12. And this will be the, it was called Swingin' on Vine, which is our fundraiser. And again, I wrote week 21, it's an insert, Swingin' on Vine, 5/25, which is the date of the event. And it's going to be a front and back thing. I didn't print the back of this one. I just printed the front. And I know that I'm going to use all of my pictures from the fundraiser and my tickets and stuff like that in here. So that's kind of like my beginning process. Then let me just clean this up, and then I'll show you what I do next. The next thing I do is I pick out my papers. Now I go back and forth from the Project Life kit and just using embellishments and papers and stuff I have in my pad or in my collection. Now I've been really enjoying using and buying 6x6 paper pads and using that instead of using the core collection of the Project Life. There are, you know, one thing I do is I take the cards, and on the back of the cards there's usually a grid. So if I don't like the pattern that's in the front, I'll use the back, and it's just a basic line page, and I'll use that to decorate and journal and stuff. And there's also a Project Life journaling cards that you could buy just a whole package of. So if you don't want to buy the kit and you want to get into Project Life, maybe just buy the journaling cards and use the papers and embellishments that you have been collecting over the years, which is what I've been doing. I've been pulling out stuff that I've had forever and I've never used. So I was looking at my pictures for this past week, and I liked the colors and of the Sweet Day, Echo Park Sweet Day 6x6 pad, and it kind of matched a lot of my photos. I had 2 pictures of Scott and Ethan wearing yellow, and then I had my basket that I was working on for a raffle that I was doing, and this paper collection seemed to really go with that. It kind of, don't necessarily have to do this, but it was just me doing it. You know, using papers that kind of coordinate with your pictures. It's just me being me, where I have to feel like everything's matchy-matchy. So anyway, so I went with the papers from this Sweet Day pack by Echo Park, and then I went over to my collection, my Clementine collection, and I pulled out cards that kind of coordinated with some of the papers in that, and then I pulled out those papers. So this was going to be my title page, and it'll be on top of the top corner. And then I pulled out a couple of the journaling cards that go with it, and I knew how many journaling cards I needed because I used my little page map thing that I put out and put together. And this is just basic right now. It's not my inserts. It's just my 2-week spread, or 2 2-page spread. So I pulled out these cards because I thought it matched nicely with the papers. And then these are the papers from the Sweet Day collection that I pulled out. So I'll be incorporating these either with just embellishments, borders, making flowers out of them, cutting out letters, stuff like that. So I'll be using these in that collection. So I'm kind of going with that peach, yellow, and orange colors. So that'll be that. Then I went into my embellishments and started pulling out my embellishments that I wanted to use. I came across this Hello There Handsome, so I thought that was cute to use with Ethan when he is sitting in the car. So that kind of coordinates nicely with that. I came across this washi tape, and I'm totally addicted to washi tape. So this one says Made with Love, and it's got orange and black lettering in it, and I thought this would go great with my raffle basket that I put together, so I'll incorporate that into the journaling. Now, I'm not necessarily going to use all of this. It's just stuff I pulled out. A Banana Fish Studio tag, so I like the colors kind of match with that as well. This is a Howdy Doody Happy Time Miss Caroline tag that I bought a while ago, and I'm going to use that somewhere, incorporate that. I also have my Carrie Bradford Week 21s cut out for my collection. I went into my drawer that has all my label stickers and word stickers, and I pulled these out because it's got some orange and yellows in it. And I pulled this one out because it had, this Happy Days in yellow. So I thought I can use that, or A Moment in Time. So I pulled these out for just dating and journaling and stuff like that on my cards. I also pulled out this little tag that says Giggle. It's a Tim Holtz tag, or ticket rather. I always try to put a tag in there, so I pulled out a tag for my collection. I pulled out these Studio Calico badges. I thought this orange, or even this Today or Hey Y'all, or anything like that, actually from this would actually coordinate nice with that. I pulled out some Smashbook clips, the orange color, so I thought I could incorporate those. I also found in my stash some old Basic Gray fabric bloomers from the Hopscotch collection, so I thought one of these would actually coordinate. Actually, this one would coordinate pretty well with the tag, or the journaling, the title card from the collection. These Mistable Mr. Huey's, or Studio Calico Mistables, and I thought I can use this Mr. Huey, let's see, Orchid, and spray these and incorporate that somehow. And then I also pulled out, because I didn't have any stickers or stickers that kind of coordinated with this, I also pulled out these raw thickers that I have had for ever, that I bought at Big Lots for $2 a package, and I bought a couple packages. So I thought I would do these. What I did was I took my Mr. Huey's and sprayed and just check to see how close in color that would get, and it actually works really good. So I'm going to use these as my my date on my title card. And I was messing around also with my glossy accents, just to see if, when I put the glossy accents, if it got any darker. So I think I'm going to glossy accent them, but I'm not 100% sure. So I pulled those out. I pulled out my little wood veneers that Terry sent me. They're the little people symbols. And I thought I would pull these out because I have a picture of Scott and Ethan on the trampoline, and I thought I could do like the bigger male one and the smaller male one. I also grabbed this glitter tape by American Crafts. I got it from cutetape.com. Now it looks kind of, it says it's cherry, but to me it looks a little bit more orange than cherry. But I thought this would actually coordinate really nice with this as well. This is a little bit of a different tone. And then I always have out on my desk my corner rounder, because whenever I'm making my own or even doing my pictures, I always corner round those. My Tim Holtz stapler, because sometimes I'll staple tags on and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. I'll pull out, you know, some punches and stuff like that as I'm going, but I just wanted to show you kind of my thought process and how I put together a week of project life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.